Hello, everybody. My name is Jonathan G. Blanco. I'm the founder and CEO of NFTs. We're helping brands sell NFTs directly on all their channels. So today we're going to be talking about NFTs, and we're going to learn what are NFTs and how they're being used in the market today. We're also going to discuss how brands can increase their revenue, gain new customers, and build brand loyalty and awareness overall. Before we even get started, though, I want to apologize for not being there with you in person. I will be here at the end of this session to answer any questions that you might have. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Have you heard of an NFT? Have you even heard of that yet? You might have read about it or seen it on the news. It's made mainstream media. A few months ago, an digital artist by the name of Beeple, sold an NFT artwork for $69 million. And it was a series of short videos all collaged together. Just a few weeks ago, Visa purchased a $150,000 CryptoPunk. And around that same time, Stephen Curry, the point guard for the Golden State Warriors, purchased a $180,000 Bored Ape. Now, the CryptoPunks and the Bored Apes are part of what are known as collections, which are avatars based off of one of 10,000 range typically, and each one of them being unique. The communities that are built as a result of that really have created some of that growth in the overall value of those assets, of those digital tokens. Now, all that to say, just because something is used right now as the art context and you see these astronomical values, that doesn't mean that that's the only way to use NFTs. We'll be discussing that here throughout this session, but NFTs really can represent just another method of business logic. You can have an NFT for $1 if you wanted to as an additional product. We'll get into that here in just a second. So before we do that, let's just go ahead and talk about, what is an NFT? An NFT is a non-fungible token. And before we understand what a non-fungible token is, let's just talk about fungible and non-fungible. So fungible basically means it's replaceable in nature due to its likeness. So for example, if I had $1 and you had $1, we don't necessarily care as long as we both have $1 when we swipe that. When we swap that overall, my dollar is not worth any more than your dollar. They're fungible. They're the same. Bitcoin even is a fungible currency because if I have a Bitcoin, you have a Bitcoin, we swap those Bitcoins, they're still same. There's still one Bitcoin overall. Now, when we think about what is non-fungible, we can think of things like art. So imagine the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci or Marilyn Monroe by Andy Warhol. Though they both depict women, they're obviously in very different styles. They're from different eras, different patterns, different textures. These are not the same painting by any imagination. If I was to swap the Mona Lisa with the Marilyn Monroe, there is a difference in value. Not only that, though, is that they're completely different in their design and their aesthetic. So these are examples of non-fungible assets. Other examples might be things like music, videos, movies, property, homes. These are all non-fungible. One house, even if it was built in the same neighborhood, there's going to be some different elements. Maybe there's different things on the inside, different fixtures, etc. Those are non-fungible overall. So I want to get technical for just a second because it'll help explain. So NFTs are used on the blockchain. And so they involve cryptocurrency. Right now, the process for doing it is a little cumbersome. You do need to have some basic understanding of how this works to make it happen. Again, we see a world where a lot of this will be used for you, just like you use your Stripe payments or anything like that. But what a token is it serves as a unit of measure to represent value or an asset. So the most common token standard is Ethereum's ERC20 token. Ethereum is a blockchain, and the ERC20 token is actually a fungible token where you can use that to operate within the Ethereum network. So if you're a developer or you're building tools, you can create your own ERC20 token overall. It's a smart contract standard. Now, when we think about a non-fungible token, this is also a smart contract standard, but the ERC 721 and the 1155 are different in that they are built to store more data and more information, things that can identify something as being unique. So this is actually the technical aspects of the non-fungible token. Metadata is stored inside of the contract or access to the metadata. So these are things like descriptions, the rarity of the item, anything that you would want to attribute the rights that you get with it or what access you get as a result of having this NFT can all be wrapped up into the token itself, or at least access to that information within the token itself. So now let's just talk about, after we've thought about how it works technically, is the main use case for this has been art, because art, as we mentioned, is non-fungible in its own right. So creating digital versions of art are also non-fungible, or can be, when you use NFTs. Here are some 3 quick examples. Amrita Sethi is an artist who does wavelength art, and then she draws on top of that. Now, what's really interesting about that is it allows for her to create these unique pieces overall, and then she can put that information as metadata, like we said, into the NFT. Grimes, who's actually the partner of Elon Musk and also a singer, she has created a series of NFTs that are digital animations with audio songs and music behind it. And then last is the collections, which we talked about, like the Bored Apes and the CryptoPunks, and how those have been used overall in these collections. Imagine a brand, for example, doing any one of these versions, whether they create their own independent art, or they create a video series, or they create a collection behind a product that they have, or some sort of aspect to do with their brand. The opportunities really become endless for them. And so we're going to go ahead and talk through a couple of these examples. When we think about NFTs over the last couple of months, we've had brands like Charmin, Campbell's, Budweiser, Pringles, Coca-Cola, General Mills with Dunkaroos. They've all created NFTs. And they've done this for a couple of reasons, but the primary reason has really been for brand awareness and to use it as a method to, get some publicity, get an understanding of the market, etc. So Charmin, for example, they created a digital toilet paper, and they sold it as an NFT. They donated it to charity. Budweiser purchased their NFT, which is actually part of a collection that someone else created that had the Budweiser logo on it. General Mills with Dunkaroos, what they did is they were basically re-releasing a dormant product offering that they had and used that Dunkaroo as an NFT to help promote it overall. Now, for any consumer that wanted to purchase these NFTs, what they had to go ahead and do is actually purchase this with cryptocurrency. And these brands went ahead and put their products onto a NFT marketplace. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. But it becomes a workflow that the consumer needs to go through, where they need to have a general understanding of cryptocurrency, and they would need to purchase some initial cryptocurrency, and then they would need to store what's called a crypto wallet. I bring all this up because the average consumer is not going to go through this process, and it's very safe to say that the average CPG consumer of these brands wouldn't go through that process. So it really starts to be a thing of more to do with brand awareness. Now, we do believe there are ways that these brands can go ahead and make their products available to their consumers in simple ways, and we'll get into that here in just a moment. Next, I want to go through another use case of fashion. And you might have heard that Dolce & Gabbana actually is issuing an NFT series right now, where what they have done is there is a line that they're coming out with, and they are creating the digital art around that. And so they're very much thinking about it as fashion art, and it's going to be available exclusively to collectors to be able to purchase. The next is Donna Karan New York, DKNY. What they did is they went ahead and created a digital logo, a new logo as an NFT to go ahead and represent the brand. And last, you have Gucci. What Gucci has done is they created a video series or as a movie, and they made that into an NFT to represent one of their product lines. Again, these are all only going to be accessible to people who are crypto native, who would be purchasing via either a NFT marketplace using cryptocurrency. And again, we do think there's opportunities for brands to be able to go directly to their consumer overall. So what are some ideas that brands can do to kind of start thinking about this overall? Well, with a brand, they really have opportunities to just think of NFTs as just merchandise. It's another product SKU. So if you sell handbags, for example, there are 3 ways you can think of how an NFT could be incorporated into your product offering. Either the handbag and the NFT are one and the same, meaning when you purchase the handbag, it comes with an NFT, and that helps show its authenticity, its value, etc. The NFT could also be one more sale opportunity for you. So you purchase the handbag, and for an additional cost, you can purchase the accompanying NFT. And last, you could have the NFT be a gift. Hey, thank you so much for buying this handbag. Here's a gift to you where you can have this NFT related to that handbag. Collector's items is another aspect of NFTs. If you wanted to have a particular collection, perhaps you're a watch company and you're going to have a rare watch that's going to come out. Maybe you're collaborating with an artist or a music artist, and you want to have a unique look to one of your products. These could be collector's items. Again, you can do the physical product and pair it with the digital, or strictly do a digital product if you wanted to overall. Prizes. We all remember opening up soda bottles and looking under the cap to see if we got the points or to see if we won. This could also be an opportunity for CPG brands to offer NFTs. Membership and loyalty is very interesting, because if you are a owner of an NFT, you can provide access to certain items. You can set that logic to whatever you want. If you remember, we talked about these collectibles like the Bored Apes and the CryptoPunks. Using that same logic and applying it to how you think about membership and building your community can become a very interesting and opportunity for brands and how they think of NFTs. Last is if you did ticket stubs, if you did events, providing as a memorabilia, and even moments. Say you have a fashion show and you wanted to cut up elements or moments of that fashion show and sell those as NFTs, similar to how the Gucci example where they created the video, the movie aspect for that new product line. So you have all these really interesting opportunities. Again, right now, the existing workflow is any one of these brands would have to work with an NFT platform, and they wouldn't be able to do this on their site. So we believe that NFTs should be sold on your product line, on your channels, just like any other product you sell. When you sell your goods, you rely on brands financial institutions to remit the payment and do all that. You're not a bank yourself, likely. You're working with someone like a Stripe, for example, and that's really the how we think about how NFTs should work. So let's just talk really quick about the overall market opportunity when it comes to NFTs. What's really, really interesting is NFTs in the first half of the year have done 2.5 billion in sales, and it's being very much compared to the art market. Interestingly enough, this data is already old in that in the month of August, a little over 2 billion of sales have taken place in NFTs as well. Now, the overall market of art is a $50 billion market. But what becomes really interesting is brands, or I should say e-commerce rather, is nearly $1 trillion industry. And what greater form of art is there than products and goods, and how brands put together their offering to their consumers? So there are 3 basic personas when it comes to how NFTs are used. You have the artist, you have the buyer, and then you have the marketplace. The artist is essentially the creator of the good. They're going to create the digital image. They're going to do a drawing, a movie, a video, audio, whatever their art form is. And then they're going to work on having it minted and stored for purchase. The buyer is the person purchasing the good. Now, this buyer can go ahead and purchase it and resell it. Maybe they hold on to it and act as a collector. They sell it because they're flipping it. Perhaps they want to see if they can get more value out of it, just like they might do with a pair of rare sneakers or things like that. And then last is you have the marketplace itself. So the marketplace is where people go currently to buy these NFTs. There's some really great marketplaces out there like OpenSea and Rarible, Super Rare, Nifty Gateway. Brands, when they collaborate with these places, they mint their products directly there on the platform. And then their consumers or the consumers of these marketplaces will then transact and purchase with cryptocurrency and Ethereum. So we'll go ahead and talk through that workflow. So if you wanted to buy an NFT today, this is most likely your workflow. You would go to Coinbase or you would go to some other cryptocurrency exchange and you would purchase Ethereum. Once you have that Ethereum, you would deposit it into a cold storage wallet. The most common is MetaMask, and that's what a lot of the different platforms request and use. And now once you have that Ethereum in your wallet, you would purchase the NFT. There are some alternatives which allow you to purchase with a credit card, but that being said is they have you do it via purchasing Ethereum on your credit card to then go to your MetaMask. So it's a little cumbersome experience for people who are not in the cryptocurrency space. So what needs to change overall to how brands think about this is, brands, they don't want to send their customers to a third-party marketplace. That's a big problem. They need their consumer to be able to understand cryptocurrency or manage cryptocurrency. And they also need their consumers to hold a wallet to store the NFT itself. And then they end up alienating some of their consumers by making these NFTs as strictly art pieces as opposed to one more sale opportunities. So one of the things that we're doing is we have created the tool to allow for brands to sell NFTs directly on their website, essentially as a one more sale, and be able to select the payment method that they would want to make that happen. We do this because we believe that consumers do want NFTs, but just like anything, they don't want to worry about how the payment is transferred and storing it. They want the good itself. It'd be like if someone had to go to their bank and put their routing number in ACH to make a purchase on your site. People will do that, but they would rather provide a credit card. Now, brands and customers, they don't need to handle the cryptocurrency when they work with us. We'll go ahead and handle that on their behalf. And then a brand, they have the opportunity to create more loyalty opportunities, because if the brand stores the NFT on behalf of their consumer, when that consumer logs back into the app, they can see the NFT, they can show their friends. So as we said, if a brand sells a handbag, there's an accompanying NFT. A person go ahead and open up their app, look at the handbag, say, hey, look at my NFT. Now, for anybody who's concerned about having someone else store their crypto, they do have the ability to have it sent to their personal wallets, and we can do that as well. So with that, I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to listen to me today. Just a quick little bit of information about me before we end. I've been in the cryptocurrency space for quite some time, since 2017. I've actually been in retail technology since 2009. Spent some time working in big box retail. Started a media company in blockchain, and we started this company, Niftmint, here earlier this year. So I will be here for as long as needed to answer any questions that you might have when it comes to NFTs. Please do take a picture of this screen so you can have my information readily available. And again, thank you so much for taking the time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your time at this conference and event. and we'll talk to y'all soon.